Babes, this video is actually inspired by a book. This houseplant book that was published in 1997. So the other day while I was bored and there was no electricity in this third world nation, I picked up this book. It was a gift by a plant friend years ago, but I never actually bothered to scan through it. And I was going through it and it made me realize that, oh my goodness gracious, this book is like maybe 20 years old, yet some of the houseplants featured in this book are still staples of today. These are plants that have survived the plant craze era of 2020-2021. They have stood the test of time. They have survived social media influence and de-influence and continue to be amazing fixtures in our home. So I figured, you know what? Let's make a video. I've got my iconic book of exposés here. Let's make a video revealing timeless plants that truly in the next 50, 60, 900 million years, these plants are going to be features in our homes. We will still be buying these plants, whether we like them or not. They're still going to be in our big box stores. They are permanently here to stay. Grab a coffee, grab something, grab, someone, sit down. This is gonna be a shocking video actually, because some of the plants I'm gonna mention will shock you. Okay, let's proceed. This first plant is gonna shock you guys. It has the reputation of being difficult. Babes, get ready to clutch your pearls, because whether we like it or not, the Fiddle Leaf Fig tree. Babes, whether we like it or not, this plant is here to stay. This plant is a classic timeless plant that has defied all marketing smears, all de-influencing campaigns and tactics, and has continued to be a fixture in your big box stores, in your plant nurseries, and even in your home. My North American girlies have honestly smeared the reputation of this plant. You have branded this plant as finicky, as difficult. I see all your horror stories, I see your reels, I laugh at them. The fact of the matter is that, fun fact, this plant is actually native to my country, Nigeria, by the way. But the fact of the matter is that this is actually not a difficult plant. It's a tree. And what happens when you grow a tree inside your house? It doesn't want to be there. This is a plant, we've talked about this before, that needs highlight. It is not by any means a low or medium light plant. Give it highlight and don't play around with the roots, and you are good to go. That said, even though this plant has that horrible reputation in the West, you guys keep buying it. The plant sellers know and they keep stocking it, and you can't blame them. It is absolutely beautiful. The leaves, the foliage, everything about this plant is just the ultimate statement plant. You can walk into a room and literally gasp when you see it, which is why it is here to stay. Other ficuses have come. They've come and they've tried to replace it. We got the ficus Audrey, which is a simpler variant, a simpler ficus, but it hasn't quite caught on to y'all. We've got the rubber tree, which is also a classic in itself, but when it comes to ficuses, this babe is a houseplant classic. But I'm curious to know your thoughts, darlings. Do you agree with me or not? Sound off in the comment section. Now this next that is why I said you need to hold on to something, because this video, honestly, some of the plants on this list, you are gonna be shocked, but you're gonna agree with me at the end of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, the next plant on this list of exposés that is honestly a classic and is here to stay is the Alocasia, specifically the Alocasia poly and the Alocasia amazonica. This is another plant that we all know. By the way, I think I also saw it in this book as well. So this has been a classic even before the Panini era, long before. The elderlies will agree with me as well. This is a plant that, despite its reputation, despite it being a spider mite magnet, despite it never having like maybe 5 leaves at once in your care. This plant is here to stay. But have you seen the leaves? Have you seen the texture of those leaves? The poly is the more compact version that just, oh my god, when I see it, I want to gasp. The Amazonica, not as compact, but gets wider leaves and is even just as beautiful. So even though these plants have a reputation for being spider mite magnets, I don't think we are ever going to stop buying them. This is why these plants are always still gonna be in your big box stores. Regardless of them having, everyone has come to tell you on YouTube to avoid Alocasias. I've even made such videos. But has that stopped me from recently acquiring 1 or perhaps even 2? No. Babes, when it comes to certain plants like Alocasias where, a decline is certainly imminent, darlings, just buy them as cut flowers. See them as cut. We've had this conversation before on this channel. Not every plant has to be a heirloom plant that you pass down to your generations. Sometimes just buy them and if it goes downhill, you bin it and go and buy another one. That's why they are cheap now. $10, $5, you've gotten yourself an Alocasia amazonica and an Alocasia poly. But the fact of the matter is that these big box stores know that you all keep buying these plants because they are classic plants. They may not last, if you're lucky, maybe 2 months, 3 months in your care, but just buy them as cut flowers every now and then. And once they start to misbehave, you dump them in the trash and proceed with your life. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? It's a forum. Let's discuss in the comments. The snake plant. The snake plant, regardless of whether it has been reclassified into Dracaena, whatever. Snake plants are not going away, specifically the classic, the Sansevieria trifascinatas. The classic green and to a certain extent the yellow and green classic variant. It is never going away. In the next 900 years, this snake plant is still going to be a feature in the backdrop of your great-great-grandchildren's rooms. This plant is never going away. Why? Because it honestly makes the perfect decorative plant. We've talked about this before. Wherever you place a snake plant, chef's kiss. Particularly this variant, it honestly just elevates it. It is drought tolerant. It doesn't require, even though it thrives in full sun and all of that. Anyone that tells you snake plants can't handle full sun, disagree with them, because I live where they are native to and we grow them in full sun. I've made several videos. I'm going to link them exposing how to really take care of snake plants. Not all this misinformation you see on YouTube. Anyways, it's not going anywhere soon, my love. Drought tolerant, light adaptable, low maintenance, pest resistant to a certain degree. Whether you like snake plants or not, in the next millennia, your descendants will still see them. So you might as well get used to them. So snake plant will forever be a classic and it is not going anywhere anytime soon. Let me know what you think, but I'm sure with this one we're all gonna agree. This next one is another classic. This is a plant that you don't even need to market. I feel like it just naturally markets itself because it's a staple. This plant will always complement any shelf, any floating shelf. It was just made for shelves and stands and all that stuff. It's a golden pothos, love. Specifically a trailing golden pothos. Look, in my previous video I talked about one trendy plant that we need to bring back, and one of the things I highlighted was that some of these common plants, a lot of them make excellent space fillers. If all your plants are just rare anthuriums, your collection is going to look, quite frankly, drab. You can never go wrong with a space-filling common plant, and that is where this classic, this golden pothos, comes in. There is no shelf that once you put a golden pothos on top, or anywhere around the shelf, just allowing it to trail downwards. Oh, Jesus. A beautiful sight. Pair it with some books and you're good to go. This is a combination that never ages. I will never go out of style. As long as we continue to have shelves, the golden pothos plant will always reign supreme. This next one is one that we can all agree on. I feel like regardless of whatever generation of plant lover comes, whether it's the millennials or the Gen Z or the boomers or the Gen X, whatever generation, they always find themselves gravitating towards this plant. This is a plant that, in fact, you don't even need to market. You don't need to get a social media influencer to pitch. All people need to do is just look at this plant and automatically they always want her in their homes. It's your Monstera deliciosa. The Monstera deliciosa, babes. Before these other Monsteras try to come, the Stanleyana, the Siltipicana, the Pinati Petita, long before these other Monsteras try to come and take her place, the Monstera deliciosa has been the OG Monstera and continues to be the OG Monstera. This plant, when it is grown right, because when it is not grown right, it can look like a terrible eyesore. When this plant is grown right, she's honestly a beautiful sight to behold. She's such a, oh my god, you look at it and you're like, this is a beautiful monster, hence the name Monstera. However, as we have established on this channel, I won't say she's a beginner friendly plant. I've actually made a video exposing the real nature of your Monstera deliciosa. She's an easy plant, but you need to master how to stake and how to trellis and how to walk your way with a moss pole if you're using one, in order to be able to actually grow this to beautiful ones you see on Pinterest and on Instagram. Okay, the Monstera deliciosa is forever going to be a classic. But if you want to achieve that classic, beautiful, iconic look, go and watch this video. Do go watch this video. Do go watch this video. I also have another Monstera care video there that was a bit of a flop, but I will recommend you watch it as well, so you can, improve on your Monstera A game. I had to include this. It's another Monstera variant that a relatively recent introduction into the houseplant market, doing the arid craze that honestly is here to stay. Honestly, she has held her own and she's here to stay. She's one of the few variegated aeroids around that period that has stood the test of time. The Monstera albo, which is the variegated counterpart of the Monstera deliciosa. This is a classic. I don't think this plant is going to go anywhere anytime soon. It's ever going to go out of style. In fact, the price has actually held its value. It is still quite expensive to a certain extent. Not as expensive as it was in 2020 when plant prices were off the roof, but it is still quite, sorted after. I feel like this is a Monstera that in the next 20 years, our children and our great-grandchildren will actually still desire and want this. Another variegated Monstera that is quickly becoming a classic is the Thai constellation. Yeah, this plant was extremely expensive. It cost an arm and a leg, but now she's as cheap as a cockroach for you guys in the States. Her prices have come, even here in Nigeria, she's still quite expensive, but the prices continue to come down. But regardless, I feel like people will always want and people will always buy this plant. It's not going to be seen as a status symbol anymore, but like as a classical staple to have on a bookshelf or to have in the backdrop somewhere of your little reels and videos. So yes, the Monstera deliciosa, the all green classic, the Monstera albo, and the Monstera Thai constellation. I strongly believe that these are classics that are here to stay. Now, I want to ask you a very, very important question. Which out of these plants do you have in your collection? Which out of these plants do you have in your collection? If you don't have any one of these plants in your collection, I may question your taste. Are you the type of person that follows trend, that follows plant trends? As we have established in our previous video, plant trends come and go. But these plants are classics. They defy trends, they defy social media, they have defied marketing spare campaigns, and they will always, as long as the earth continues to rotate and as long as the earth continues to exist, they will always be in demand. So as a person or as a business, I would even argue, you need to have these classical plants in your collection. All right. Anyways, as usual, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And also, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And girls, what do you think about the backdrop of my plant room? We've had some upgrades. Actually, it could be the next video. Because I've already filmed it, but I want to do like a plant room update / walkthrough and show you some of the features I've installed in this plant room, because it has changed. It's been just a few months since my last plant tour and we've had several upgrades. So subscribe so you don't miss that. And yeah, let me know what you think about this video and about the plants I mentioned in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, my loves.